and welcome. Well, we all know cricket is a game that is played on the field by 11 men or women. But now there is a rage of playing it off the field as well. I'm talking about the online space, and I have a master of that trade, in fact, Bhavin Pandya, who is a co-owner of My11 Circle, an online platform. Bhavin, tell us about your platform and how, playing cricket online, making your own team has increasingly become a rage in India.
Oh, it absolutely has. Cricket has always been a religion in India, right? And initially it started out with people really following their teams, and then came along, the T20 format of the game that made everything really fast-paced, right? And the excitement just sort of increases that much more. And now with the advent of the internet and the mobile phones, people are able to sort of really participate in this game, right? By choosing and making their own teams, right? And based on how those players do on the field, these players who play the game and make their own teams get points and they get ranked. And so there is a lot of excitement where I'm watching the game with you, and I have a player in my team that you don't in yours, and you're waiting for him to get out, and I'm waiting for him to.
It just lends the competitive edge on the second screen. But Bhavin, I have to ask you this question. Cricket. There's a lot of apprehension about cricket betting in India.
Yes.
Though there are people who say that cricket betting should be made legal.
Yes.
Yours is a platform that kind of where you can bet. You can make your team, and then you can offer money as well on that,
right.
And it borders on betting in some respect. So how do you take care of all of that?
So let me take a step back and sort of go through the legality, right? So the question is, you're really asking me, is this legal or not, right? And so in 2017, the High Court of Punjab and Haryana, they very categorically, in a very recent judgment, said that playing fantasy means that you have to really apply your mind. You have to think about what form a player is in, how he has played on that ground historically, what is the right combination of team to have in terms of more batsmen, more bowlers, how many all-rounders. And so you really have to apply yourself, right? And that skill is what really is someone is really
more important.
Is really wagering his money on that. Look, I am very skilled at making the right team that will get me on top of the board.
But that's true to horse racing also. You have to be really skilled to know your horses and
that's
your
right.
jockeys.
And in a 1996 judgment, the Supreme Court of India said that horse racing was also a game of skill. So these are all games of skill. Now, obviously, the notion maybe slightly, the notion or the impression that people have of these games may not totally be. But that's not a decision that I can make or take. I go by the law. The law is very, very categorically clear that fantasy is a game of skill, and so we offer those games.
Okay, so why get into this cricket space? Because you already had rummy going for you, and you were going great guns with that.
So as I was saying, right, cricket is religion in this country, and through the years, what we had learned from our experience of providing rummy to our players, taught us a lot about what are players really looking for. How can we provide engaging and awesome game playing experiences to our players, right? And so once the law became clear, we said this is something that was really right up our alley, because we could put all of our experience to good use now and launch My11 Circle, which as you may be aware, in 1 year has risen rapidly through the ranks. When we started out, we were nothing, and there were like at least 70-80 apps out there that were doing this, and now we're probably number 2 or 3 in this space.
Okay, why did you want to appoint Sourav Ganguly as the ambassador? Is it because of him being the president of BCCI?
No, so our decision was made much earlier, and I'll tell you why, right? So I come back again to how did we get from starting out just a year ago and now being the number 2 or 3 player in this space, right? I'll tell you how. It's because we have constantly thought about innovating on our product. How do we do something different? Everyone these days can go on any app, make a team, the players will play, get points, and they'll win. How are you really distinguishing yourself from the rest, right? That's the question that was plaguing us. That's the question that we were trying to answer. And it just then made sense that why not have the players who play with someone who has done this for a living day in and day out. And unanimously, the name on everyone's minds was Mr. Sourav Ganguly. right? Who better than him? And
So you went for a voting on the platform as to who do you want
no,
to see?
No. We didn't do it like that. Internally, as we were discussing in our group, right? Generally, we have a lot of disagreements. Is this person good? Is that person good? But when it came to Mr. Sourav Ganguly, the choice was unanimous. That he is the captain. He really epitomizes what it means to be a captain of an Indian cricket team.
Right. Bhavin, I have to ask you this question. You know, there is another app of a similar name that's Team India. That is BCCI's sponsor. So don't you see conflict of interest there?
I personally don't see any conflict of interest. In fact, in my view, based on my understanding of conflict of interest, it would be conflict of interest if you know there was some favor done to that company and not really to us, because this is in his personal capacity. He's free to choose and do what he wants to.
And what exactly is Sourav's involvement on the platform?
So what Mr. Ganguly does is he makes a team, right? So suppose right now India is playing West Indies. He will make his own team of 11 players that will consist of players from both India and West Indies. And based on how those players in his team do, he will be ranked amongst all the other players who will also make teams, right? And that's really his role. He's helped co-create with us the Play with Champions
I just
brand.
have to butt in here. He's making his own team on your platform.
Yeah.
He is privy to classified information about the Indian cricket team, giving that, I mean, maybe he's not giving that exact information out, but there will always be a perception of him having classified information and also making his own team on a website. Do you see that it is
But
little
he
problematic?
doesn't gain anything out of it. What does he gain out of it? He gains nothing out of it.
So
when is something a conflict of interest?
So is he doing pro bono? Is it a pro bono work that he's doing with you?
No, I'm saying in making the team, he gets nothing out of it. He's not doing this. He's our brand ambassador.
Okay.
So he's not doing this to make the team because he's our brand ambassador. We have a certain agreement with him. But he gains nothing out of using that information to make a team, is what I'm saying.
Okay. So thereby there's no problem.
There is no problem at all.
It is all clear.
Yes.
One last question: when do you think is your website will have the most activity, most number of viewers, followers on it? Is it during the time of a world event, IPL? What is it that gains more traction?
I will answer this question slightly differently. For us, the goal or the idea is never to be, okay, how do I just sort of become the biggest or the best. It's always about how do I become a better version of myself, because that's what I can control. I can control how well I am doing day in and day out.
Right.
And so we have targets for ourselves, and we really, of course, everyone strives to be the best, and so do we, but we don't keep that as the goal. Our goal is to keep doing better from where we are and take that one step at a time, where eventually we're able to really take the competition head on and give everyone a run for their money.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure. Thank you so much.